your favorite Mushie Buddy checking in. Yes, it is. What's up, y'all? I know it's been a very, very long time, but I said, you know what? Let me pull this camera out today. I am on my way to a Black and Psychedelics documentary premiere in Detroit. Y'all know Detroit, my second home. So yes, I'm on my way to that. I am so excited about this just because I've been talking about Black people being in psychedelic spaces for a minute, and to know that there is a documentary that is literally for us by us makes me so excited. So of course I did pull up. I am in full mushroom regalia. Yeah, even my hairstyle, I look like a mushroom. Yeah, cute little cut color, you know, a little something. But I'm excited. I've been following them for quite some time, and yeah, so to be able to support pull up, it's a fundraiser and a movie premiere. So yeah, girl. Of course, y'all know I'm repping SHROOMBAE head to toe. Also repping a few other things, but we gonna let that sit and simmer until the ink is dry, because I got something for y'all. So excited for that. But yeah, I know it's been a while. Brief update. Been working on a lot. It's a lot of stuff that I'm realizing. It's a lot that's brewing. A lot of changes have been made, new connections, but it's good. It's good. It's good. So I'm gonna bring y'all along with me. Of course, I'm not gonna record in there because who's gonna record a movie? But when it's over with, I will give y'all my take on it. There is a girl who is from Chicago. I did have the opportunity to meet her at the Illinois Psychedelic Society mixer. So I did see her, and I microdosed earlier today. I'm also going to make me some tea, but I'm going to use Enigma in my tea. And I'm also going to put a little bit of happy honey. I will let y'all know how that go. But yeah, and we have arrived again. Full mushroom, boom, boom. Oh, yep, and down to the socks, my baby. Let's do it.
Last but not least, Detroit Psychedelic Society. This is one of our first major events, so salute to everybody who came out. I recognize some folks from former and other larger psychedelic societies and some real luminaries in the crowd. And so I salute y'all and thank y'all for coming out. I'd like to introduce two very powerful brothers that I was able to meet and have been able to work with over the last few years as we expand this defining space of psychedelic science for our people. But I'd like to introduce these phenomenal brothers. What it do though, Detroit? Okay.
First of all, what up, y'all? Peep the drip. Peep the drip, okay? Peep the drip, okay? Period. My recap of A Table of Our Own. I really, 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 really enjoyed it. You know how you can watch a movie and then as soon as it's over with, you like, dang, I could watch that again. That's really how I feel. And then I was kind of mad. I'm like, can I just pay for it to like have my own copy? Like, can you make this a downloadable thing? Like, this needs to be on Netflix. It needs to be on every major streaming service because it is just of such a good high quality. And when I say that, it's like there are a lot of conversations being had about psychedelics in general, but this really put into perspective a lot of the things that I have already been trying to convey. Whenever I'm watching something that is of educational content, I like to annotate along the way. So usually when I watch like documentaries or like movies that's like education based, I'm usually either live tweeting or taking notes in my computer. But because this was at a movie theater, I wasn't finna pull out no big old laptop, but I did turn down the brightness on my phone as much as I could, and I annotated in my phone. And the thing is, I feel like whoever edited this, they thoroughly understand pace, because even though there were like key points that were being hit, there were phrases that was used, it was terminology that was being thrown out, and although I was able to read and watch and take it all in, I also had enough time to make annotations and not miss nothing. And I don't know if it's just me, but I'm like, dang, I did do this kind of fast, or if it's like the editor really understood, like, hey, they might need a moment just to let what was just said sit and simmer because it was impactful. So the intentionality behind that, I really love that. There were quite a few familiar faces in this film, and so that kind of made me feel like, you know what, you are finding the right people. Like, even if you have not met them yet, heavy on yet, okay? Some of the events that they talked about, some of the conferences they mentioned, some of the like key things that they brought up in this film, I was just like, I've seen that before, I've heard that before, I know who this is, I've seen their content, I'm aware of this convention, this festival. Like, the familiarity was like, okay, you are finding things that are of the right and high quality for the crowd that you intend to be in. So that was reassuring. But then most importantly, I think the biggest takeaway for me was, what is your role in your involvement with this and its impact to your community, right? I've always said, like, no matter what I do, what I'm doing, nobody else is doing. And I love the fact of, one, being different, but two, just adding something that isn't already there. A big part of why I do what I do is just for the sake of, one, exploring what's not being explored, and then two, making it less taboo. I love the way that conversation in this whole movie was just organized, and I don't really know how else to put that. For the sake of clarity, I feel like it's a lot of different roles within this mushroom community, and as it grows and becomes more prominent and more discussed, it's just a lot of different lanes that people could take. And so I think that looking at the role that each person plays is important. I think that it's so many people who are saying that they doing mushroom work, but are you really? So yeah, it just makes me look at the ways in which people contribute to the mushroom community. Me personally, my focus is journey sharing, harm reduction, building community. It's really that simple. We break it down to them three things. And are there other things that are brewing? Yes, those will come later. But initially, the whole point of me starting this mushroom series here, where you see it and consume it, is for the sake of sharing my journey. I can't tell you what you're going to experience, but what I can do is be a voice for not only resources, be a voice for Black people and having positive experiences with both culinary, wild, and magic mushrooms. Portion of what I do is really breaking the stigma and testing functionality as well, because there are so many people who have negative preconceived notions about things that they have done zero research on. And you know what? And to some extent, it is very lazy. However, I know that there is a greater portion of people who just learn different, right? And you learn in three ways. You're either an auditory learner, a visual learner, or you're a tactile learner, which means you got to actually do it in order to learn. Not everybody is like that, and most people learn of two of three ways. So I'm going to tell you about it, and I'm going to show you right here. But on top of testing functionality and myth busting, just because it's fun and explorative for me, I like to share that because there are so many people who just have the wrong idea. Like, when you up close and personal with something, you get a different perspective. So here's your up close and personal. You're welcome. I love everything about mushrooms. I love the fact that I am learning to incorporate them a lot more in my food. I love the fact that I am meeting people who just do so many different things. I've met people who grow their own culinary mushrooms. I've gone to a mushroom growing demo that was led by a Black man. Like, it was lit. It was lit. And I love the different ways that I'm just meeting new Black people. One of the things that they said in this film was Black people being involved with plants is nothing new. When you was a kid and you had a scrape or a scratch or bruise or something, your mama, auntie, grandma went right in the kitchen and got that aloe vera plant from on top of the refrigerator, broke you a piece off on it and rubbed it on your skin. And I was like, you're right. You're right. My grandma definitely had an aloe vera plant in the crib. A couple of them. And she broke pieces off of it frequently because I was a kid that was outside and I got the knees to prove it. I got all the scars on my knees to prove it. You know, they just said stuff that the delivery was just very much so on brand, right? And that's another thing that I really want to talk about. There's another thing that I really want to stress. Being palatable is a way to appeal to white people. It is. And to some extent, there are ways in which when you get so comfortable in your blackness, you don't ever care to be palatable to a group of people who is never your intended audience in the first place. And it's really that simple. I don't live my life for the pleasure and satisfaction and tolerability of white people. Never have, never will. And I think that just there are so many people who are comfortable with being palatable for the sake of somebody else, and they're not even comfortable with themselves. Weird, not doing it. The connection to this film was just so home. It just hit home so well, and especially during Black History Month. Like, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. 2, I love how they addressed intention, right? It was also very person specific, and I love that as well. Like, the individuality of not only experience, but the individuality of making something work for your definition of what Black looked like for you. There were people who were from a lot of different places, a lot of different walks of life, with a lot of different experiences, and just centering Blackness within the experience it felt like I was in the right place. I don't really know how to like explain that, but I feel like this film did such an amazing job on touching on Blackness in general, and also breaking down the white scope of an activity that is not typically inclusive of Black people, and where that exclusion stems from, what it looks like, how it's exercised, and how it's dressed up, in addition to the ways in which they flip the whole idea of drug use within a community as being something that's positive because of the restorative nature of mushrooms in general. When I tell y'all, I have never felt so heard, so understood, so like, yes, that, exactly, yup, on that. And it was just like, not only did this film feel like a connection within a cultural space for me as a Black woman who is creating mushroom content, doing mushroom work, it resonated in such a good way, because what I've been trying to explain, it was not only put into words so eloquently, but the experiences, variances within a shared experience, I think that's really what did it for me. I'm gonna make a part 2 to this, just because I want to comb through some of my annotations and give y'all some of the hard-hitting points, because I don't want to use this initial video to do it, because obviously I'm driving. But will I say, is it worth it? Yes. So at the end, they did a Q&A. There was a meet and greet mixer. I didn't get a chance to go to that because I had other obligations, but I did get a chance to briefly, 1, get a picture, and then 2, I didn't even realize until literally yesterday that my 4-year Shroomversary was this past Thursday, and I went to an anniversary party for a DJ, which is crazy because I'm like, how could you forget this? But sometimes when you just moving so fast, and then for this to be the weekend of my Shroomversary, for my anniversary, this was like so on brand, so perfect. I got to travel, talk about mushrooms, be in a Black space with other Black people who also are doing mushroom work, rub elbows with a few people in a subsection of a part of my life that's very important to me that I just never met before. So absolutely loved it. If you all have not heard of this, then this is a great opportunity for you to look into it. Even if they aren't coming to your city, see if they're coming to a city near you. Get you some travel in, go do some visiting. Did I love it? Yes. I wish I could watch it again. And if they put this on a DVD, I guess I'm finna go buy a DVD player so that I can have one or something until a streaming service picks it up, just because I feel like it is definitely deserving. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. comment, like, and subscribe, and I will catch y'all on the flip side. Peace out, Mushie Buddies!